Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boring Enterprise Nerdletter Talk, where Paul Moderman and myself, Elena Perfileva, talk about the upcoming issue of the Boring Enterprise Nerdletter. So, welcome our existing subscribers. If there is anyone new, then you are in for a treat because this is our second conversation, believe, of 2026, and I think stuff is heating up. So. Before we go to the story, there is small change that Paul and I just decided on. So we always shared three stories each at minimum before, but going forward, we probably sometimes might have maybe fewer stories. So we might have more content for these conversations when there might be some subjects that may not be story worthy or just
Yeah.
we purely don't have time. So going forward, folks, please make sure to subscribe and like and watch these conversations because they're about to have more bonus content than ever. So
And your
um,
your your uh your platinum subscriptions will be prorated for this.
yep,
So
yep, for sure.
you'll see a
and
refund in
and
your
and yeah, I hate to beg, but I hope it's kind of clear that people cannot run on kind of just goodwill eternally. So if you will, there is buy me coffee link and simply subscribing and liking that doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us to show the number of our kind of supporters. So thank you
yeah,
everyone who has supported
big
us so
thanks.
far. We truly appreciate it. We know who you are,
Yeah.
and we also know who is not supporting us. So we have a list of that as well. So keep that in mind. We're tracking everyone. All right. So on that fun note, so let us just go ahead with our stories. I will go first and let me share my screen. So this time my piece de resistance story. So I need a drum roll for this
Yeah.
one, probably because it's kind of a biggie. So I have been sitting on this subject for a long time. It's a big subject in SAP space. So SAP
Wow.
Integration Suite. Some people will be like, yes, some will be like, huh? But it's super popular, super hot subject right
Super
now.
hot.
It's and
So
this
hot right now.
it's this integration suite is so hard right now, guys. So this story will blow your socks off. Um, so there are a lot of migrations going on from the
Yeah.
old SAP solution, which is called PI or PO. That's not really clear which one of them anymore, to the integration suite. And this is not going to be like huge story, but I do want to kind of open this subject because it's a
Mm,
very big subject in itself. I would say integration in general, integration suite with all its parts. In this video, I just want to show you it's really funny page, I would say, for SAP because it says, "What is SAP integration suite?" And like by reading this a single scalable AI assisted integration solution that helps fully unify, automate, blah blah blah. Like by reading this, I have no clue honestly what it actually is, like what it
That's like
actually does. It's
it's
like
like saying what is integration suite? Well, it's a suite for integration. Yeah.
exactly with AI like TM. So AI is involved somehow. That's important. I'm surprised they didn't. Oh, there is business mentioned. So
Yeah,
sorry, I
yeah,
take
yeah.
that back. Business is mentioned. So as usual, but I think most folks will probably know this mostly
Yeah.
from what is called CPI, which is just
Hmm.
part of this suite. It's like Microsoft Office, like
Yeah.
Office, Excel, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
This suite is kind of also a collection of stuff, and CPI is probably the most common one, which
Yeah.
which is which is plainly put SAP middleware. That's
Hmm.
what it is really. And just wanted to give shout out to myself and do a shameless promo of my fun article on LinkedIn where I did a brief history of renaming and SAP integration, where starting from like years ago, I go over of all those name changes. So if you are joining the space right now, you will probably hear and see those names mentioned in the migration project. So feel free to do this fun read and learn about the rich history of renamings in this space. All right. So I will try to cover again, just open the subject. It cannot really be what is integration suite in like a couple of sentences. So, but I'm excited to start on this conversation, so to speak. All right, Paul, any thoughts from you on integration suite?
So the only thing that I was gonna mention, you kind of called out
Mm.
already, is that like if you go back to the first page that you were
Yeah,
on there,
yeah,
yeah, um, like AI assisted, that text that's like mandatory text for any product these
yeah.
days,
Like
right?
here,
Um,
here.
yeah,
And did we
but
mention AI?
yeah, but by the way, it has AI, guys. The
Mm.
the it, I just want to reiterate from my standpoint too that like from a skills growing standpoint and from a market need standpoint, this is a pretty big one. Like if you
Mm.
guys are out there going like, man, what am I going to do with my, my resume this year or whatever, like there are few in the SAP space, there are very few things like integration suite that would be a huge bump to your
Yeah,
skills tool,
yeah,
your
yeah,
tool belt.
yeah, yep. Great point, Paul. All right, awesome. So moving on to the second subject. So this one is I think it's almost like a follow-up to the story I did. Let's see, which year was it? So May 2024. I wrote about kind of succession
Hmm.
in the ABAP world, and this was focused more on ABAP specifically. And remember, was a time when Developer Insight Survey actually was published, and that was helpful information. And I know, Paul, by the way, I know you posted like where is new developer survey, and did you by chance hear anything about that?
I
Did
didn't hear
anyone like
anything. No,
nothing from no more surveys?
it
Uh,
didn't go viral. So
yeah,
yeah,
it
I
didn't
guess
go
not.
well. Okay, all right. So now without survey, we don't really know what's going on. But
Yeah.
what I kind of touched upon here is we have experienced developers who are either retiring or moving on to other kind of skills, but there isn't really kind of succession in any good way going on there. And kind of related to that, I saw this post on Reddit, so I'm gonna link to this. This person is describing the struggle as what they're called fresher. It's essentially beginner, someone who is
Mhm.
new to ABAP, and how they are just terribly struggling with lack of support and any mentorship and any guidance.
Yeah.
And I read this, and honestly, that's just awful situation to be in. I myself cannot honestly relate because looking back, I guess I was lucky enough to have mentors working with me anytime I had to start something new.
Hmm.
And that was actually several times throughout my career. So, I mean, in this video, I hope we can indulge in some kind of back in the days, going down the memory lane. So, just when I started my very first job, like right out of school, I was literally not even 16 years old because back then people graduated at 16 from school and then
Yeah.
off you go to like university or whatever to, get a job.
Hmm.
And when I started job, so I was very young, obviously, first job ever, no idea what's going on.
Hmm.
And the job was at the lab at university, which was in charge of creating educational software, and I had like no real programming experience. I had some basic knowledge, but not much. And programming wasn't really as it is right now. It wasn't as well known. It was like before internet. And to add to the confusion, it was in English. So all the books, all the sources we have were in English, but I studied German in school.
Hmm.
My English knowledge was like the capital of England is London.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
and that I only knew that because the our other students who studied English in school, that's what they were just blurting out all the time. So, so that's because that's what they were taught in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
So that was the extent of my knowledge. But
Yeah.
um, and honestly, no one was really holding my hands per se because people were busy. They had their own jobs. They had no business, working with me. It wasn't kindergarten. It was a real job. However, they gave me real tasks to work on. So I had purpose to my learning, and I had books. I had dictionary. I literally translated through dictionary, and it started really slow, but then it went faster and faster. And towards the end of the book, I barely needed to use dictionary anymore. So, which was, I mean, good. I learned English as well at that point. Um, but again, so I had always support from the mentors. It wasn't like
Mhm.
me, sitting there like a little birdie with my mouth open and expecting someone to feed me, but people were there. They knew that they
Yeah.
needed to support me, and they did. And then I had another career change when I started mainframe development, which was also development wasn't new to me, but mainframe completely was. And we got trained by a company, so they had training where they started just grab some random people and put them in a room, trained us for a week, and after that they hired few
Yeah.
of us. And when we were hired, we were specifically also placed on the training project. So it wasn't real client project, but it was dedicated training project from that company where they would put people like us first before we're, left, sent out to work with the clients. And we had a mentor assigned to us, et cetera, et cetera. And then story repeated again in SAP world, where I had much more experience at that point, but still we started doing ABAP
Mhm.
after mainframe development, and we had consulting company where their developers, they were assigned to us, employee developers, to guide us and mentor us. And so at every step, I had something. And without having that, I think I would have had also super terrible experience.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
something needs to be done here. We cannot
Yeah.
simply hire someone and then just left them to their own devices. This situation described here, it must not be happening. Not in ABAP, in SAP, like nowhere. But I want to
Yeah.
call out SAP ecosystem specifically because I think we will see more of this
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
for this reason that I wrote about here, that now we're bringing on new developers, but there is no handshake, there are no people to support them for a variety of reasons. So
Yeah.
yeah,
This is like I try to go out to the ABAP subreddit
yeah,
every now and again, but I don't go there as every day or whatever. Maybe I should do it more often. But like my heart really goes out to this person
yeah, yeah.
here because I can think back to so a couple of times in my career where both the organization but also me didn't do the smart thing in a scenario, right?
Mm,
So my first job as a developer, I was working in the corporate financial reporting department at where I was working.
mm,
And so they had this web portal that they did various like they would enter their various facts and figures, and I have no clue. I don't know anything about accounting, but they did all that stuff, right?
mm,
And the, it was a very small team. There was only one other person on the team who was like a program writer, code writer guy.
mm,
Um, and he had no time for anything.
yeah, yeah,
And so they the time came that they like assigned me to like this portal you could add applications to it. So they assigned me a new application to collect this new bit of stuff that the C level needed for whatever financial reason. And I have the spec, and I can remember like I stupidly just like I beat myself up for weeks on end,
mm,
like late nights.
yeah.
Back then, I had no remote access, so I would come in on the weekends to the
Oh
office
man, jeez.
like a dummy. Maybe not a dummy, but and like I can remember one time I was walking past a conference room, and I could hear somebody saying, I think it was my manager at the time. It was definitely somebody who was higher up than me because I was the
Mm,
lowest guy on the
mm, yeah,
ladder.
food chain, yeah, yeah.
They were, and this person was saying like something to the effect of, if he's gonna fail, we're gonna have to let him fail, right?
Mm,
Because there was no like it was my first thing. There was no proof that I could do the job
mm,
until this thing, right?
mm,
And so what that did, what that did to me, which it shouldn't have done,
mm,
it pushed me inward.
Yeah.
It pushed me into
Yeah.
myself and I beat myself up even further.
Yeah.
And so like it's like a roll of the dice. I happened to deliver this thing
Mm.
by the sheer force of killing myself,
Yeah.
essentially, right?
Yeah.
What I should have done was go to like more than one person because
Yeah.
maybe this other guy in the team, I don't know. I should have asked him, but I don't know whether would he, how much he would have helped me. He's a nice guy, but I don't know if we've had the time. Was that I didn't I didn't turn my eyes outward to sort of ask for help. And like the reason I say that is because like I suspect that to some degree, basically everybody has felt this way
Yeah.
in one way or another.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, Pleasant Ad 2431, if you're listening, um, you are not alone. Like at least the two people on this call have felt like, what am I doing, right? And
Yeah.
like if you the the counter to that or the other part of that is that like the more experience you get, the harder it is to like put yourself back into those shoes of like I don't know what the hell's going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it can become harder the older you get, and I'm saying this with gray in my beard, it can become harder the older you get to like recognize that in other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And so like maybe there's a call to action to the gray beards or gray hairs, right? Uh like it's your job, it's our job to to always be looking at the person who might be struggling
Yeah.
and tell them, hey, you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
You're like, let's go have a beer and I'll tell you all the stories about how many times I've failed at things. We
Yeah.
would need more than one beer to tell you all the times I failed at things. And yeah, so yeah, I want to, I also want to just want to say too that like, I'm pretty sure this person comes from a different culture than I come from, right? They're
Mm.
using words
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that we don't use in
Yeah.
US like American English,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm pretty sure this person comes from a different culture, right? And like the freedom to say, I want help, please help me,
Yeah.
uh, is maybe different in other cultures as well
Yeah.
for that too.
Yeah.
So like, again, if you're watching this and you feel yourself that you're like this person, uh, please don't take me saying whatever I said as like the final answer to everything because your cultural situation might be different too, and you may not be able to do this in the same way that I could feel that I should have felt the freedom to do
Yeah.
in my position there.
Yeah. I mean, it's very uncomfortable to ask for anything,
Yeah.
and asking for help, especially in professional situation, it can be double uncomfortable. We should be able to doing that, but we need to recognize that as humans is just, and especially it depends on your personality as well. So, since
Yeah.
IT is a mixture of very interesting, quirky personality types. Usually,
Yeah.
if you look at other professions like sales, they have different types there
Yeah.
working there, so their dynamic is different. And
Yeah.
IT, that's like introvert central to begin with,
Yeah.
and introverts, like you said, we just push stuff inwards. Until it bursts like one day terribly. So but additional point, just I want to make sure we mention here, and it's probably going to be in the story. This is honestly is just a leadership failure. That's what it
Yeah.
is, because there is a manager on top of all of this, and they hired this person. They knew, so this person clearly did not misrepresent themselves as an experienced developer. They knew they had no experience. They should have accounted for the fact that this person will need also support from someone else or other resources, and those resources needs to be allocated. And I cannot really maybe blame like senior or their mentor here, um, but also kind of could. I mean, you're clearly experienced there. You have probably maybe some rapport with a manager. Why don't you just go and say like, hey, this guy, this fresher is asking me for help, but I don't have time. Like,
Yeah.
maybe give me more time of the project, or tell them to ask someone else. Like, someone could have taken some action if they wanted, I think, as well. could have helped that. But in general, that's it's kind of as all the problem, fish spoils from the head. So this is just another manifestation of that thing. Oof. Okay. So yeah, very very kind of emotional subject.
Yeah.
All right.
I like my heart goes out to this person so much. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Like we
Yeah.
got you. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're not alone.
Not
So
alone.
yeah, and yeah, so if anyone struggles, I will put the story in. You just quietly take a copy and send this to your manager.
Yeah.
So I will tell them what they need to know instead of you. I know for you it's uncomfortable, but I don't care. So I will. So I got you this one. So third one, like I said, we may not be doing like full three stories necessarily, which is fine. This may be just like bonus here or might be just super short story. So this is a pretty old article. I first read it in like 2020 or even earlier. It's from Slack, and it's like a set of suggestions how you can. They're called this like etiquette, but etiquette is kind of not always perceived well. People don't like being told
Yeah.
what to do, but this is kind of set of tips, like hints and tricks, suggestions how you can collaborate and communicate effectively in Slack. I have a link to the story. I've shared it so many times because Slack is a company where I work at and part-time Paul I think still works at. It's a main source of communication. I know it also was like at IBM. I know many other companies use that as well still. And
Yep.
Teams is probably suffering from the same issues, most likely as
Yeah.
similar platform. So there are some really good tips and yeah, they're very short ones. So there is a whole list, like there are 7 of them. Some of them are Slack specific, but I just want to call out my favorite ones. Less messages. Yeah, like something doesn't need to be messaged, like thumbs up emoji is good. I'm terribly guilty of writing long messages on Slack, but there are some tips how you can kind of remediate that by formatting. Use threads in some Slack channels. You will
Yeah.
get like I don't know, like banned from there for not using threads. So that's super helpful tip for Slack specifically. I don't know if it's an issue on Teams. And yeah, short follow-up messages. Yeah, with emojis. Yeah, just give emoji. Don't start sending stuff. So
Yeah.
super helpful article from Slack, and I see they keep updating it. So I hope folks that are using Teams will find this helpful as well. All right, so that's all my stuff, and over to you, Paul.
Here we go. Um,
Go
guys,
fast.
I'm going to talk about some
Yeah.
AI, okay?
All
Here we
right.
go.
Sweet.
This is so kind of going like talking about Yelena talking about like sort of themes
Hmm.
that are starting in the world or whatever these days. I think I might start talking about AI a little bit in this newsletter.
Okay.
No,
About
but
about damn time, Paul. Someone talked about
the
AI.
world has been waiting for somebody to say something about AI. But but a little bit more seriously, what I do want to start talking more about is like how how I think people should be like paying attention to this in terms of their skills, in terms of their employment, in terms of their like, professional acumen or whatever. Um, and so like like I want to at least have my perspective out there that says like please please pay attention to this stuff. It's coming on stronger and stronger from more and more corners of the software world. And like I foresee that it won't be long before you will have to just be like, it will just be assumed that you know some level of detail about how to sling it appropriately, how to use it, whatever. Like it's just going to be expected that you're going to be able to do that. And so I want people to have ammunition for that thing. But also sometimes I want to talk about like the things that are at the even at the edge of that. And
Oh.
this is one of those things that's the edge of that. So you guys, if anybody has heard of Claude Code, I love Claude Code. Claude Code is like a terminal based thing, or it can work in some like little terminals in like VS Code and stuff too. That is like agentic software development process.
Mm,
And learning how agents work and do that stuff is really good. Gastown, this is by Steve Yegi. I have loved his writing for like 15 years or something like that now. He's such a great software writer. He has been sort of, I think he was retired almost even from like programming altogether.
mm,
And like the potential of AI language models, agentic stuff kind of brought him out of retirement because he was just so excited and pumped
mm,
to be doing stuff. Um, he is sort of experimenting at the very edge of this stuff. Gastown is his take on multi-agent orchestration. So what this is a framework that can run 10, 20, 30 Claude codes at once, and they're all poking each other to like do tasks and keep going and tr keep track of things. So you can have like you can just your job as the overseer can essentially be just like filling a backlog that the agents just keep chewing through over and over again and keep improving and keep testing and keep whatever. And finding like incredible productivity from that, I think Steve is saying that there's still some like, kind of loose ends in this, but like the latest AI models make this at all possible, right? In this past summer, this software would not have been possible.
mm,
Um, it would have fallen apart even more quickly and just frayed off into nothing. Now that the latest frontier AI models are really good at holding their thoughts together, so to speak, over like a longer period of time and can work for hours under like, okay, I'm going to give you this direction with these two cells, go. And it can just work and work and work. Um, and often, not always, but often come back with workable stuff. Your job as a techno nerdy person of some kind is to get better and better at doing the guidance for those agents to do those things. Because, like, if going from, for example, 4.1 to 4.5 on the Claude Opus model makes this possible where it wasn't before, well, 4.5 to 5 may make this even better. 5
mm,
to 5.2 make it even better, right? Like, um, this is going to keep going up. So like, pay attention. Let's see if I can find this. Right now, just if anybody graduated out of terminals, welcome back to Terminal Land. This is where a lot of this
Oh
stuff is.
man.
This is where a lot of the early stuff is happening these days. There are some like web-based UIs you can install to go on top of this stuff, but like the action, I work in my terminal when I use Cloud Code. Um, and like kind of once you're in the zone, you start to like your eyes will glaze over and you just see the code. You don't see you see the matrix or whatever. Um, this this is as of right now, this is kind of at the edge of it. Like I think it will kind of come back to like better user interfaces and stuff like that. Um, for example, I'll bring this up too. Let's see. I become
And for full disclosure, I hate terminal stuff. I just it's like it feels so backwards to me. It brings back some PTSD from like monochrome screen mainframes. So that's
this is this is Vibe Kanban.
mm,
This is a Kanban board where when you make the to-dos and you drag them over to in progress or whatever,
mm-hmm,
the AI picks it up and keeps going, right?
mm,
So the AI will put it in review, the AI will put it in done, and then you can like review the things as the AI goes. So your job is to fill the left-hand side of this with
mm,
stuff and like, okay, let go and let Claude. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
that's what it is. Excuse me. The SAP world is like obviously probably less ready for this than like the web dev world
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Although I think there is more and more reason to believe this can be done very, very well in the SAP world as well. Um, Shameless plug, I'm working on a product that does that. Um,
Hmm.
imagine that.
Hmm.
Uh,
Do tell.
but the uh, but the idea here I'm trying to get across is like pay attention to the agent stuff in software dev.
Mm,
Like, in fact, I think the agent stuff in software dev is better than the agent stuff. for like my procurement agent,
Yeah.
my accounting agent, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
software dev is a little bit more verifiable than a lot of things are,
Yeah.
and that makes it easier for AI agents to like accomplish verifiable things.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Excuse me. So that's one thing in the theme of, hey everybody, maybe just like start paying more attention to this because it's going to come up and slap you in the head if you don't. Um, Another thing to pay attention to, and this I don't know. Again, I picked three or four different things. I don't know exactly which ones I'm going to write about. Is part of getting good with using AIs, using agents, using chatbots or whatever to do things for you is like I do think it does require a little bit of at least a little bit of understanding of how those things work. And so when I say that, I look at this. This is a Searchlight Institute is like a survey org that does I don't know surveys about God knows whatever. But I noticed this come by, and I wanted to like sort of pay attention to this question here a little bit. When you ask an AI like ChatGPT a question, what is it actually doing?
Mm.
45% of people said, oh, it's looking up the exact answer in a database. That's not right.
Yeah.
21% of them said following a script of pre-written responses. That's not right. 6% said having a human in the background write an answer, which is funny, but also not right.
Yeah.
This answer here is the closest one, right? This
Yeah.
guessing what word should come next and based on patterns is one. That's the closest one easily out of all these answers.
Yeah.
But when 66% of the world or 66% of the respondents to a survey have like
That's just
think that
funny.
it's doing something like that or following a script, then that affects how you treat it,
Yeah.
right? If your mental model is that it's just like rigidly deterministic, rigidly
Yeah.
static, you're just command lining something, then you will lose the ability to like get the most out of that stuff.
Yeah.
So so pay attention to that. And the other piece of this this is that specifically in the SAP space, you've got SAP Joule for developers, which SAP has like they've fine-tuned their own AI model for that stuff. They used a bunch of ABAP code as like the data
Mm.
to like fine-tune a base AI model about that stuff. And so also I want to just shout out like this is like I don't think this is good fodder necessarily for the newsletter itself, but like fine tuning is a thing by itself in the
Mm.
AI world, and how you use data information to take like a base language model and then like give it better behaviors or better knowledge about the subject matter you're trying to do.
Mm.
There's a danger zone here too, though, which is that like this is, and I've got talked about this, so there's no, I'm not like coming out of the closet here. Like I think SAP made the wrong bet here with their Joule for developers. They fine-tuned a very old model with a bunch
Mm.
of ABAP stuff. And there's a lot of people where there's a lot of things these days, fine-tuning has kind of fallen out of favor a little bit in the AI world.
Mm.
Like as the AI models get smarter and smarter about things, you don't need to fine-tune them as much. They're more steerable, they're more guidable, they're more um, tunable just by prompting to do the thing you need to do rather than like going and buying a pile of GPUs and like fine tuning a language model for
Mm.
yourself. And so that's why you get things where like um, Joule for developers, for examples, like it knows lots of little trivia about SAP ABAP,
Mm.
for example. It knows a lot of that
Mm.
stuff. But there's a difference between knowing a lot of trivia and being smart.
Yeah.
And Claude or GPT or Gemini are far, far smarter than Joule for developers. And like they are not fine-tuned for SAP. They're not fine-tuned for ABAP. They just need to be shown the documents or whatever at the right time to see that
Mm.
stuff. And you can clearly see them, their capabilities to do things are far and away above Joule for
Yeah.
developers.
Yeah.
And so this is also part of the process here too. Like you shouldn't blindly trust any vendor anyway. But um, uh, if you walk out of the room thinking that Joule for developers is the best thing in the world for SAP web development, I encourage you to like um, keep questioning that assumption.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
goes for every AI thing, right? You should question that assumption for anything.
Yeah.
But just because a vendor is selling you their like picture of it doesn't mean that that's the right thing or even the best thing for what you're trying to
Yeah.
do.
And funny enough, I just posted this morning. I ventured to SAP community website, and there was one blog post in ABAP RSS feed. It was from some SAP account, some person working at SAP, and it was like AI roadmap for ABAPers for 2026 or something like that. And I'm like,
Oh,
I mean, I'm interested. Yeah, and
yeah,
roadmaps, sounds cool.
yeah,
But of course, when you open it, what's your first step on roadmap? Joule for developers. But I mean, of course, written by SAP. I mean, what else would it be?
yeah,
So, but I read it like, I don't think, bro, that's a roadmap for
yeah.
that I would share with like broader community. So just this morning I posted on LinkedIn actually asking like broadly whoever is out there, what do they think the real roadmap would be? I haven't checked, been literally just a couple of hours ago.
Okay.
So if you guys are watching, if you like go to LinkedIn, I might link it here in the video and see if there are any interesting responses by now. And I think it's a, I think it's a good question to ask. And you're exactly right about SAP Joule. I don't mean to keep crapping on SAP Joule
Yeah,
for
no.
developers, but SAP makes it easy to do. If I'm honest, I mean, come on, guys, you kind of
Yeah,
brought it on
yeah,
yourselves. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from
Yeah, moving on from this, but moving on to more Joule, by the way.
Joule for consultants. All right.
Joule for consultants is I picked a bad screenshot of this guy up. I don't mean to make this I'm not trying to make fun of this guy. I don't know, it's hard to find a good screen grab of
Yeah,
somebody doing a
thumbnail
video.
doesn't come
Yeah.
up for some reason.
Um, but anyway, so the other thing I want to talk through a little bit, and I don't know whether again, I don't know which of these things I'm going to write about in the newsletter itself, but like
Mm,
Joule for consultants is like it's a different product first than Joule for ABAP or Joule for
developers.
developers.
Mm,
But it possibly has this same it like the thing I want to say about Joule for consultants is, man, I want to see some examples.
yeah, yeah,
I really want to see some examples because I mean maybe my searches are just bad searches, but I just like and I mean it probably is hard to come by examples because like it's hard to share your personal company information on a YouTube video or whatever, but
yeah,
like I definitely want to see more detailed information about how this works because there's a lot of things out there that kind of go toward like you should use this for this reason, that whatever. I'm still not convinced yet. Not that I think you should just be skeptical right away or whatever, but like I'm not convinced. Here's one of the reasons I'm not convinced. And it's not this guy's fault, really. But this guy does a side by side
hmm
of ChatGPT with a question and Joule. This must be like an internal version of Joule for consultants or whatever.
hmm
And he criticizes ChatGPT's answer to
hmm
this question. However, he asked Joule for which version of S/4HANA is Joule available, right?
Yeah.
Great.
And
He didn't say, and when he asked
yeah, it's a
GPT,
different prompt.
it's a
Yeah.
different prompt. So like, I think ChatGPT did a pretty good job of
It's
answering his
it's it's
question.
the right answer to
It's
his
the right answer to
question.
that
It's
because
it's yeah, I mean,
he like deleted the word Joule
come
from the
on, bro.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
Yeah.
also he didn't use the best ChatGPT, so there's that too. But like most people don't know that because like ChatGPT makes it hard to figure out, but that like
Yeah.
you should just basically always use the thinking version of it. But anyway, so like this kind of stuff like
Yeah.
clouds the perception.
Yeah.
Cloud like you could probably get some benefit. You could probably get a lot of benefit from ChatGPT, turn on thinking mode, do your in-depth searches, use the deep research. You can get some very good answers about SAP stuff from there. So that's one of the reasons I want to say I want more examples of the Joule for consultant stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I'm necessarily crapping on it out of the box, but I don't know whether I should because I have no grasping point on it.
And and you don't know if you shouldn't either. It's like,
Yeah,
and we talked about it, I think, in the previous conversation as well. It's like, so dear SAP, stop talking about how awesome your stuff is and then complaining when people are
Yeah.
not excited. Just show it.
Yeah.
If it's awesome, show how it's awesome, and we will see something, and then we can judge from there. Right now, I also I got the same results as you, Paul. I have no idea what it actually looks like other than getting, yeah, like random bits and pieces from this guy. Why is this guy showing us Joule for Professionals? SAP should show it. Like,
I know.
why are you not? And when you do not show it, it immediately breeds those conspiracy theories that it's not good,
Yeah.
because if it was good, you would have
Yep.
shown it to us. So,
Yep.
guys, if you want to improve perception in ecosystem about your product, just freaking show it.
Show it.
And if you
Gotta
don't,
show it.
then know that there will be most likely skepticism. So
Yeah.
then, yeah, that's.
The only other thing, this is just along the same lines, but like,
Mm,
this is a different video, and this is SAP produced one.
mm,
And this one has a, and I just want to shout out, by the way, um, Mahin. I know
mm-hmm,
her a little bit, not like super personally, but I know her a little bit. She's
mm,
really cool. She's great. She's super smart and
mm,
super capable. And she's talking about Joule, and like you get the sales pitchy stuff, like Joule
mm-hmm.
improves such and such by blah blah
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
but you don't get the like,
Like,
and
where are the
here is what I actually
screenshots?
did.
Yeah,
Here is
yeah,
what I what like it's a little too,
yeah,
again, not her fault. This is
yeah,
good video from her perspective. She is
yeah,
very educational. SAP is just not making it clear,
yeah,
like dive in, provide me more details here,
yeah,
please.
yeah,
Because this video by itself is a little bit compelling, except if I can't open the book and like go to the chapter you're talking about, how
yeah,
am I supposed to know for sure?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So there's that. So shout out to Mahin. She's cool. She's awesome. She's really smart. But SAP, please continue to like do more details on this stuff. People need to
yeah.
see more details on this. Okay, that's all.
Awesome. All right. And so you heard it here, folks. And yeah, if anyone like at SAP, please pass pass on the message that that would be really cool, because I'm really interested in actually
Yeah,
seeing
like
seeing
it.
some, like,
Frankly, it could actually be really useful. Maybe it is,
yeah.
but like you got to see.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Useful, show it. Awesome. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. And to reiterate, please like and subscribe and hit up, maybe buy us some coffee as well. That
You know.
that that doesn't hurt. It really helps us to see, that we're getting your interest, and you're finding some value in what we're doing. So, thank you so much, everyone, and I hope you have a great day. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.